Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's the Scottish Sim guy here. Today we're going to do another farm build. So I've done one on Kinlaig so far. In the background I've been working on quite a few farm builds, far too many at one time in all honesty. I've been doing wee bits in one and then moving over to the other and doing another few bits and that on those ones, and I've just got one completed. I just had so many ideas floating about my head and different farms that I wanted to build, and rather than finish one I started just implementing all the ideas I had in different farm builds before I kind of lost it. So I have got one all thought out and planned out, so we're going to show you where we're going to do this farm build today for you. So coming out the shop here in Kinlaig, and we're going to turn right. So we're going to turn right and we're going to go along here, and there's just over the bridge here there's a road up on the right hand side. It takes you up taking is it 5 or 6 smaller fields. So we're just going to turn up here, and up here on the left hand side is where I've decided to do this build. So this field in here, so we're going to do the build in here. So this is the field that I have chosen, and we'll just show you this on the map. So here we are, this is plot 8, field 8 here, so this is where we're going to build the farm in on this plot here, and we'll see what we can come up with. Got a few good ideas, so been obviously working on a lot behind the scenes, just so now I'm just going to try and get them all finished. I'm still doing my Let's Play series. Episode 2 came out yesterday, episode 3 should be out early next week. Today is Saturday the 15th of November, so we'll get something out, but yeah, we'll jump up onto construction actually, and just basically show you what the kind of area looks like. So this is what it looks like, and hopefully you'll see a big difference and a big change by the time I've built this field. So this is the idea and the plan, to build a farm in here. So what I'm going to do is going to disappear. I'll jump back in and I'll show you and give you a little tour of the farm. Right folks, so just started back down at the shop, so we'll just take you along and show you this farm build and give you a little tour of it. I've really enjoyed this farm, and it's actually a really nice looking farm. Kind of modern farm, but the kind of older tractors, not old but older anyway. So this is it up here, so you'll see a big difference already. So farm entrance in here on the left hand side, there is 2 entrances, so this is the layout of the farm. Now there's somebody want to tell me, oh, the bale metrics are unreal in this game. So this trailer was all lovely, nicely stacked and strapped down and parked here, and I came out the gate, saved the game, came out, and when I've came in to do this, oh look at that. Now I'm sorry, but bales don't move like that in real life, especially if they're strapped down. So these bales have actually decided they're going to levitate off the ground and be up here rather than down there. So it's one thing I don't know, it's just with this game is the metrics of it. It's the same like trying to stack bales yourself on a trailer, and they just start moving about randomly themselves. This is why a lot of people use auto load, because it's just, yeah, that's just absolute nuts. So yeah, fantastic. Right, back to it. So got the entrance in here. So we've got a good bit of junk in that sitting down there, just trying to make it a bit more realistic. So we've got the house here on the right hand side, so a decent sized garden, little greenhouse and a shed. We'll have a wee walk through this. So obviously this is the in-game house that came with Kinlaig in the DLC, so I've used that. and just made this lovely little stone wall round the outside of it. Put a little house in here and just yeah, a little area to park cars with a gate coming through, and yeah, just something a little bit different. So majority, I mean, some of the so some of the sheds are from the DLC. Some of the sheds aren't, and I will obviously again put in the description the sheds that I have used. In all honesty, it is basically these two grain sheds, and then basically the UK calf barn and UK big cow shed from MS Modern. Realistically, the majority of livestock animal sheds that I use are from MS Modern, because I do think he's got some of the best in the game that's available for console anyway. I don't know what's out there for PC. Have been seeing some PC ones lately actually, and some of them are really nice. I'm jealous that I can't use them. But yeah, so I kind of arch shed in here on the side. So that's where I kind of started. I placed that first, and then the grain shed next to it, and then I worked the house in the grounds of the house, and then kind of worked myself right across the front of the yard there, and then I started doing everything in behind, so you'll see that in a bit. So we've got basically running all John Deere, so 6930, a 6430, John Deere combine and John Deere telehandler. So we've got our header in there, and we've got our bunning trailer, and we've got that in bunning green. This first grain shed here, we've got a good bit of our equipment in here. So we've got our mower, we've got our rake, we've got our header, we've got our John Deere baler, we've got our Cavernaland cultivator in there, we've got our seeder there, power harrow, we've got our net wrap, front linkage for just carrying net wrap and silage wrap about. We've obviously got our bale trailer there with our ski whiff bales going all over the place. Got our fuel tank there. So I wanted this kind of first bit coming in. I'd put concrete down, asphalt and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, what, cobbles will look better. So I've put cobbles all the way in through just the start of the farm, and then everything else off of that is concrete. So you'll see cobbles go all the way up here, and then it goes into concrete into these areas here. So we've got a wash bay in here, we've got our still power washer there built into the wall, we've got our water barrels and chemical barrel there, and then down here we have our silo basically. So I didn't want to place a big massive silo like I have done in the past, and then I didn't want to use the in-game that you got with the DLC, the grain shed, because you're only allowed, it's only 2 crop types you can have tipped in it, and I'm like, I don't want to use that either. So as a decoration, you've obviously got this silo and dryer with the DLC, so I placed that down first. I can't remember what this mod's called, actually. We'll find out in 2 seconds, because I'll jump in and we'll find it. So we'll jump across the silos, and it is down here somewhere. So here it's addable triggers, and that's the grain silo that I put in. So with that, I just placed that right up against that grain bin there, so it looks as if it's feeding up and into there. So, and then built a wee wall round about it. With that being a grain dryer, it needs to run off LPG usually, so there's 2 LPG tanks in there, and we've got 2 feed bins there. We've got some IBCs, a container, we've got a shear grab up on the top. So before we go any further down there, we'll come back up round here, into this grain shed, which I've just made as a workshop. So we've only got the combine sitting in it just now, and this is just an area to service and look after the vehicles. So this shed's obviously, all these 3 sheds here are from the DLC. So this one's got fertiliser in it. We've got our agri spread lime spreader, which came with the DLC as well. So we've got our fertiliser in here. Down here we've got our seed. We've got our Teagle straw chopper. We've got our Joskin livestock trailer. So the idea is what it does is I placed this arch shed up against this, and I went, rather than have this as a shed, I'll have it as an area I can actually drive through if needs be. And then what I did is I placed this little shed here, and as I was building the farm, I'm like, I need to put somewhere for handling cattle. Rather than make it outside like I usually do in my builds, let's see if I can make it in the inside. So this is what I did. So I placed the cattle crush down in here, ran some gates up there, ran the wall down here first, and then along here. So we'll just walk up here. We'll just jump the gates rather than open them. So I placed the walls in first, and then that gave me this kind of area. So I placed some gates down here. So these are kind of holding pens, from one holding pen into another, and then that allows you for the cattle to go down the crush. So that's what I've done, made it an indoor area, so ideal, absolutely brilliant. I really liked the way I've done that. It just kind of looks, so then with that, the gate across there, so if you're bringing cattle down from this end, open up the gates and bring them in and up, but also gives you an area. Could probably do with doing a set of gates across there and give you a holding area in here, but you can pick them up if you wanted to from the front if you were loading cattle up. But if that trailer's out the way, it means we can run right through here. We're out with dung or out with slurry. So there's a dung heap in there. So in here we've got some Highlanders, and then actually out, no, wrong gate, I don't want to open that one. Don't even know how it managed to open because it's right through. Didn't want to open that one. There we go. So, and then this is out into the Highlanders paddock here, so we've got 5 cows and 5 calves out in here, out in the paddock. So kind of made this at the side of the shed, so you can more or less have that door sitting open. Not that they can actually get into that little bit that they're in there, but it makes it look a little bit more realistic that they're coming in and out. Now I need to go into the dung midden to close that gate. So yeah. If it will close, I can get the metrics of it and where it is to actually close it. Probably actually in there. I'll leave it. So yeah, so they're out there, and then we kind of put this slurry tower in here, and it kind of just catches all the 3 sheds. So the kind of idea of the farm would be the way I've got it set up, whether I play it or not. It might be in the future that I'll actually keep it and I'll keep it bare, and I might move my Let's Play series to this farm, depending if you guys like this one or not. So that kind of catches these sheds. So we've running, like, the way it would work is they're running some Highlands, and then the rest are all Aberdeen Angus, everything's all beef. So we've got a field down here out the back, an area just for kind of parking things up. This shed here's lying empty, and then this one's got the Aberdeen Angus in it. If anybody would like to tell me why the Aberdeen Angus are changing colour into brown, it would be really, really nice. And then we've got this kind of another entrance down into the field there as well from this side. And just some decorations and clutter floating about there. And in here we've got some silage wheels sitting ready to go and feed. We've got straw and hay sitting there. Nothing in this silage pit apart from the feeding wagon and the silage wagon. And then we've got obviously our John Deere forklift and our 6430. And then that's us out into where we were. So what I will do It's just kind of shoot round here. So that is the paddock from this side, so you don't up those gates to go and empty any slurry or that out it. So that's that. So what I'll do is I'll jump up onto construction, and I'll just give you a little overview of it. So this is it from above. So you'll see that apart from the three livestock sheds, these two grain sheds are the only other ones that I've really used. Apart from that, everything else has been available through the DLC, Highlands Fishing. So that's what we've used. So yeah, a decent farm layout. I actually really like it. It just, yeah, there's just a nice feel to it. Kind of newer sheds in the middle there and older on the outside, and kind of a bit tighter on this end here for getting in and out, but just that realism of having a cattle handling area inside, and yeah, just something just about that. It's really, really nice. And then yeah, put in the double silage pit. Always a thing to have silage on one side, and then rather than having a hay shed or whatever, just use the other pit for stacking bales in. And then the plan was to have these two smaller sheds to put them in the calf barns. That would be for the Highlanders, and then this bigger barn here was going to be for the Aberdeen Angus. So that's what we've done there. So I'm going to go and get in the buggy again, have a wee drive through in the buggy, just to let you see from the buggy's perspective of driving about it. And then that is more or less the farm, but I'll take you down and just show you something else that I've done. Nothing spectacular or anything like that, just going through my thoughts of how this farm would work, what I've actually done. I've not bought any fields or anything apart from the field that we built this in. I've taken on a couple of areas that aren't fields, and I've actually turned them into paddocks, so grazing fields. So yeah, this is just a little what we've done. I mean, I could probably do a lot more in here decorations wise, just to clutter it up a bit, but I just thought sometimes you can do too much if you don't want to use the same decorations over and over and over again. So I kind of left this area a bit cleaner. Could have put a couple more gates in just to block off certain areas if you were shifting cattle, but apart from that, I think it would work well. And then it kind of drops down here into that field there, and we've got Cambridge roller sitting there. So yeah, it's a nice build. I did enjoy doing it, and this is why I decided when I was building, I've got 3 on the go. I was like, this is the one I'll finish because I like this the most. So that's what we decided to do. So what we do is just run round here, show you here, and then we'll reverse back. I really like the look of that lime spreader. I mean, you can use it for fertiliser as well, but I've bought a fertiliser spreader as well, so you do one for fert and one for lime. And if you're running it as a farm, you'd obviously have these fields here. Unfortunately, the way that the game worked out when I jumped in to build it in there, everything round about it is basically, I think it's, what are they? It's not normal combinable crops anyway, that's for sure. I think they're potatoes and stuff like that that's in them. That's carrots, that one, the red ones, is it? What's that? Red beet. So it's 2 fields of red beet. We've got a field of green beans, and we've got a field of spinach. So yeah, stuff that you need specialised equipment for. So yeah, if I was setting up, I'd need to get rid of that and get the game. No, it's one thing about if I had a PC, I could just boom make them whatever crop I wanted. Now, which in all honesty, I don't know if that'll ever happen if I will jump to PC, but it is a thought. Just for doing certain things, make my builds better. But I do like the thought of only, um, you know, being on console and showing people what you can actually do on console and achieve in console. And lots of people do start off in console and then make that jump, and I've never done it yet. So yeah, and then down here we've got some Aberdeen Angus there on the left, some Aberdeen Angus with calves there on the right. And we made this little area down here to come in and feed them and get in the fields. So the plan would be, these are paddocks for the cows out during the spring and the summer, and bring them in October, end October, beginning November time. And then we've got another one down here that I've got some more Highlanders in as well. So and I bought this plot of land here that doesn't include the and that's kind of where to feed them in there. What the plot of land here obviously doesn't include the sell points here, but it does include that little bit across the road here and a little bit here I'm on the left hand side. So if I was to, so plot 70, so it gives me all of that. So this is obviously this bit area here where I decided I'd put in the paddocks there. It's given me this wee bit right along the bottom of the road and this bit at the top of the road down towards the beach. I actually own a bit of the beach as well. Didn't actually know that. So you take on a bit of that beach. So yeah, I mean that could be fenced off round there up to here. You could plough this and make it a field, put a fence or a dike all the way around it, and it's a decent sized area. Oh, come in and do something, take some silage or that off of it. So it gives you these areas as well, and then you could make this into something here as well if you wanted to, but I just thought I'd put cows in here. And rather than just have it, you know, as you say, if I was in console that would be one big field and the cows would just be roaming through it. But you know, PC you can do that and they can show quite a few cows in the one pasture, but with console it doesn't. Obviously limits it to about 10, as I've said, so this is why in a certain area when I come into it I put more than one pasture in to show more than 10 head of cattle over a big area. So you end up having all those cattle in that area and in all this area with nothing standing in it, or you'll have one cow here and one cow over here and one cow away over there. And so this is why, what the kind of reason I do it. So yeah, that is basically that. So that's what we've done for that farm. I say I did really enjoy it. I'm going to keep it the save game file on the Xbox and have it there in case I want to. What I would probably do if I did come and use it, I'd get rid of all the equipment, and if I was coming over from another game I'd bring the equipment that I had with me. So it's just a case of changing the equipment, maybe getting rid of the cattle, or limiting it and bringing the numbers down to whatever cattle I bring with me kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, you see it driving from this end, it does look quite good. So yeah, nice little build. So yeah, I'll get pictures and that up on the Discord as well, so pictures will be up before the build comes out on the Discord. So if you're watching this you've probably already seen the pictures if you are a member of my Discord channel. If not, go and join, links in the description, it's in my bio, so you'll find it there. Come and find me on Facebook as well, Scottish Sim Guy on Facebook. I've really just started posting a lot more on my Facebook and never really bothered with it, but now I seem to have getting a few folk following the page on Facebook. So yeah, hope you have all enjoyed this build, guys. I do thank you very much for watching, really do appreciate it. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed this build and a tour of the build. But apart from that, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.